Charles Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, put it this way: divine ideas are man's inheritance. Each idea contains all that is necessary to unfold the Christ consciousness. In other words, when we hold thoughts of truth, peace, and love, we're tuning in to divine ideas. We're activating a higher frequency. Think of your mind like a radio station. Wherever your station you're tuned into, that's what you're going to hear. If your mind is tuned into fear, regret, or not enough, that becomes the soundtrack of your life. But here's the thing. Most of us don't even realize we're stuck at that station. But once we become aware of what we have of that choice, we can tune it into something new: hope, gratitude, bless you, compassion, joy. And when we do, everything begins to shift. That's the heart of the third principle. You are co-creators in spirit. Your thoughts matter. Your consciousness shapes your reality, and that, my friends, is not just quantum physics. It's spiritual truth. This principle reminds us that it's not just about what we think or feel, it's about practicing those thoughts into being, affirming the life we want to co-create with the divine. Myrtle Fillmore puts it beautifully when she said that our soul works is to unfold more of God. That means beyond human doubt, beyond the noise and clutter of daily fear, resisting and saying a bold yes to the universe. I keep thinking about something simple yet symbolic. If you want to go ahead and put the slide up there, please, for me. Does anybody know what that is? Yes. That's one of my favorite things, and it's perfect for this because it's an example of spiritual growth. It's not rushed, because you know, as that being inside of it grows, it steps into that new, I want to say, new apartment, and closes the apartment behind, and it basically grows, and then when it starts growing, it builds another apartment and moves into that. It's unfolding in divine timing, just as it should. Each step, each chamber is necessary. In my mind, it's a creative process as a spiral. The spiral growth and manifestations are not linear. We may set intentions, face obstacles, revisit old doubts, and renew our faith while gradually ascending upward. But the spiral shows that every affirmation, every act of faith builds upon the last, moving us upward, even if it seems like we're going in a circle on familiar ground. So, number one, deepening and expanding faith, principle 3 is about practicing faith consistently. The spiral represents how our faith and understanding deepen over time. As we move through life's circles like this, each revolution of the spiral brings us greater wisdom and trust and divine process. Number 2, manifesting through layers. We often expect instant results, don't we? When working with spiritual principles, we want it now. But the spiral reminds us that true creation unfolds in layers. And you can see how it just kind of moves in layers. Each step we take, no matter how small, is part of the larger journey towards manifesting our highest good. Number 3, alignment with divine order. Spirals are a natural form that appears in galaxies, appears in weather patterns, even in our DNA. It's also part of the flowers. If you looked at flowers and how you see flowers as they're blooming, they have that same pattern. It shows a deep intelligence in this creation. By aligning our thoughts and actions with spiritual truth, we tap in that same divine pattern, trusting that our journey, though it's winding, it's moving in the right direction. Transcending limiting beliefs, as we ascend that spiral, we often revisit old fears and limiting beliefs. But each time we do, we have the chance to apply new insights and faith, transforming them even more fully and continuing that upward climb. In essence, that spiral beautifully embodies the principle. It shows that spiritual mastery and co-creation with the divine and dynamic involving process, always moving us towards a greater expression of truth and love. That practice is the metaphysical truth. It's not just passively thinking, not going with the flow, but actively affirming through our actions the kind of world we want to create. So if we're the spark of God, what kind of world do you want to create? We often misunderstand or dismiss this principle by just thinking it's just positive thinking or manifestation, but it's much deeper than that. It's about recognizing that every thought, feeling, and action is part of the flow, part of the living substance of God. Whether it's small gestures like picking up litter or large acts of affirmations in our lives, we're always co-creating. Jesus' parable of the sower in Matthew 13:3 reminds us that not every idea, inspiration, or calling will take root. Some will fall on the path and are snatched away either by animals or insects or, birds. And there's no foundations. So some will fall on rocky ground too, where there is no foundation, and some will be choked by thorns. But when we listen, when we nurture that good soil through prayer, meditation, and clear intention, we allow these seeds to grow and multiply. In metaphysical terms, these seeds represent our thoughts, feelings, and actions that originate from God mind, the infinite spiritual intelligence. These are the seeds of consciousness that we are planting. So in my mind, we are always creating with God thought, the power of our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. It means that when ideas come in, a spark of insight, a nudge that we usually will get, a vision or something greater, and we ignore it, what happens? It's like a seed's falling on a path. There's no soil there. It won't take root. And the opportunity disappears. When we have an idea that hasn't been built on spiritual foundation through prayer or meditation or reflection, that's the seeds falling on rocky ground. It might spring up quickly, but it won't last because there's no depth to it. When our ideas are based on limiting beliefs or tangled in fear and doubt, they're like seeds sown among thorns. Those thorns choke life out of what might have grown. We find ourselves asking, well, why isn't this working? But the ground wasn't ready. Maybe you weren't ready. And God's saying, maybe we just need to wait a little while. The divine ideas and I think understanding and patience and prayer and meditation and affirming, and we wait, that's when we see fall on good soil, because you prepared that soil with all that good stuff. And that's when we are co-creating. And it's not always easy, and sometimes that's the hardest to do, is to wait, trusting and holding vision when we can't yet see the results. But if we stay faithful, the harvest comes 30-fold, 60-fold, or 100-fold. So as we explore this principle, let us ask ourselves, what seeds am I nurturing right now? Where am I affirming life and love, and where might I ignore or resisting life? How can I say yes to the universe today in small or large ways? We often feel frustrated when efforts don't bear immediate fruit. I've been there. You've been waiting, and all of a sudden you're saying, well, this is not working, and it's just getting ready to pop through, and you just said, I'm done. We walk away.